Hey, this is another episode of ENTA Ask, where we talk to companies who are making a difference here in YYC, changing the game and being innovative. Come check us out.
Let's have some fun. Okay, let's get started. We have an extra special episode of ENTA Asks. We have not one, not two, but three guests with us today. We have Britt Radius, and I'm going to try and get these titles right because they're awesome. We have Brittney Ramsay over here, who is the CEO and Vision Blazer. Welcome, Brittney. We have Dayna Morgan, who is the COO and Innovation Designer. And we have Britt Ramsay, who is the CFO and Improvement Architect. Wow, welcome guys.
Thank you. So tell us, what exactly does Britt Radius do?
Britt Radius is a wickedly talented consulting services firm. We help companies achieve compliance and acceptance for projects that impact people or land.
Awesome. So you work with energy companies then, specifically?
Yeah, we work with a lot of different industries, heavily in the energy sector. Excellent.
Yeah. So anybody who's doing what kind of projects would want to work with wickedly awesome people like yourselves?
Yeah, so as an example, if an energy company is looking to build a pipeline or install a power line or a solar facility, that's where we get involved, and we help negotiate land rights, do the permitting, and all the fun stuff, and work with communities. So we do a lot of stakeholder and Indigenous engagement work as well.
So important. I love it. Okay, so I love that we know exactly what you do and who you like to work with, but I want to hear the amazing story of how you guys got to this point, like how you guys got started here.
Sure. So Britt Radius, we just rebranded to that about a year ago, but we started as Britt Land Services, and Breanne and I are sisters, and our dad started the company in 1986. It was a recession at that time, and he was an in-house landman and was given a very small package. And I was 2 years old at the time, so he had to do something with it, and he decided to start his own company and be his own boss. So he was the landman, our mom was the land secretary, I was the toddler in the back seat of the truck going everywhere. And then Dayna and I joined later in life. So I've been at Britt for 15 years now, and came sort of out of university, started working with my dad, and fell in love with the company and what we got to do and achieve. And then Dayna was already there when I started. And it's got a cool story.
Yeah, so I joined the company when I was going to university, and I like to tell people it was just supposed to be a summer job, and that was 22 years ago.
Best summer job.
Yes. And same thing, fell in love with the work that we did, the company. I had the awesome opportunity to work with Brittney and Breanne's dad for a number of years, who was my mentor. So yeah, once Brittney joined the company, her and I got to work together, and then a few years later, Breanne joined as well.
And so what got you on board?
It was a summer job that I did as well on the marketing side, and I joined about 10 years ago. Okay. So I've been at Britt 10 years working with Brittney and Dayna.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how did the handover from your dad go, right?
Yeah, that was tough. So our dad was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's at 48. And so he was told by his doctors, you have 6 months and you need to get out, you need to figure something. So I was about 23 at the time, Dayna was just like a couple years older. And we didn't have a succession plan. Our succession plan was we would take it over, but in 10 years, not necessarily right now. So he needed to move out, so we just started trying to figure it out. At the time, Dayna and I didn't know how to read an income statement or a balance sheet. We really didn't know what it meant to run a business, but we were committed to the company and committed to our dad, and so tried to figure it out.
I can't even imagine. I mean, obviously a devastating personal blow for the family, and then now you have to take over the company. When,
no pressure.
Yeah, right? Like yesterday you were kind of doing your job or whatever, and tomorrow you have the corner office.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't even imagine. So what was your first reaction to that?
Well, it was tough because it was devastating. And we also wanted to make sure that the employees and our clients felt very comfortable. So I couldn't necessarily openly talk about what was going on at home. So we had to make sure that everything was covered and everyone, you know, we were having a really positive, confident message out there. But on the inside, I was devastated for my dad and for our family. So that was really something tough to navigate. And then the first couple years when he was like out. We didn't want to burden him and bug him. So for the first couple years, I actually felt abandoned, and I had a bit of anger, feeling, oh my gosh, you've left us this company. We know nothing to do. We have to figure it out, and you're just gone. And I was obviously angry at the disease as well, right? So Dayna, I mean, it was tough for us. I'm not gonna lie, it was challenging. In the first couple years, we lost employees and clients who didn't believe that we could do it. We are the only female-owned and operated, like full C-suite team of women in our business.
In the world?
Well, probably because I don't know if our industry exists much outside of.
Yeah, definitely Western Canada.
Yeah. So, and we were in our mid-20s, right? We were very young, so there was a lot of skepticism about could we do this, and we had to figure out within ourselves that we could and we wanted to.
Well, and you told me even the industry kind of was trying to push you guys out.
Oh yeah.
Like you told me a story about like a comic or article that was.
Yeah, we definitely, people made comments and said things, and then it was almost though like the more they were talking about it, we were like, oh, maybe they're actually really worried. Like if we're that much on their radar, that they're going to do something like that and you know, make a whole marketing campaign about, is your land broker experienced enough? Do they know what they're doing? And they are using young girls in their advertising. You're kind of like, okay, I think they're worried. I think they think we can do this.
Right? Because if they weren't worried, they wouldn't bother. Yeah, I love that. You know, there's two ways to motivate somebody. You can either cheer them on, right, or tell them they can't do it.
Yeah.
And people like it one way or the other. If you want me to do something, tell me I can't do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing gets me more, right? Yeah. Like you can cheer me on and I'll be like, okay. But tell me I can't do something and watch out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that was the situation for us. Like kind of spurred our competitive side of things, and we have grit, and that's just part of who we are. It was grit and determination that got us through. It's got us through a lot. Yeah. Definitely that first bit. And it's how the company started too. It was started in a recession, so it like grew out of tough times. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of in our blood and in our DNA.
Yeah. What I really like, and maybe this is next episode chatter, but I really like that you're not doing it the way that everybody else is doing it. Mm-hmm. You are shaking up the game. You are bringing a culture that is so powerful that people start as a summer job and never leave, right? Like, talk about having advantage, right? So I think that's next episode, but I want to say thank you so much for sharing that really powerful story with us, because I you know, coming out of adversity, it makes something so much stronger. So you on that.
So did it ever, I mean, it sounds like, you know, you were faced with a pretty daunting task, right? You know, and obviously a lot of personal things going, professional going. Did you ever question whether you would like proceed and do it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Many times. But there was a pivotal time where I think it was a couple years in. Bree hadn't joined us quite yet, and I was so unhappy. And I couldn't sleep, and I was stressed, and I was not enjoying life. And I went to Dayna and I said, I think I'm out. Like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this. I'm not happy. I'm putting on this front on the outside, and inside I'm crumbling. And Dayna's amazing to talk to. Our team will tell you Dayna is fantastic to connect and chat with. And so in our discussions, we decided, okay, we could quit, or let's make this thing our own. Let's stop living in Ray's shadow. He was obviously incredibly successful and great at what he did. And no matter what we did, we couldn't be him. There was no way we could be this, you know, 50-year-old man with 30 years of experience running this. So that actually started the culture journey for us. We had to figure out, who are we as people, as leaders? Why are we doing this? What's the impact? And that is the seed that started us on the culture journey of having this amazing culture and team that we have today.
I love it.
Was your dad, I mean, I know he wasn't involved in the business, but was he there kind of cheering you on? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's always been a huge support, and the first couple of years he wasn't in day to day, but we could still go to him for advice and mentorship. And
What did he say to the naysayers?
I mean, I think he said a lot without even saying anything, like giving the company, not giving it to us, but giving us the opportunity to run it and have that gift was amazing. But then he did. He said it to them, and it was a pivotal moment for us as well. We were, in 2015, featured in Business in Calgary, so we were like on the cover. It was very cool, and it was special because it was the three of us and our dad. Like that was just a special keepsake to have, right? So they interviewed us all separately, and so we didn't know what each other said, and we didn't get to see the article before it came out. So it comes out, and we read the whole article, and the very last ending of the article was our dad, and the person said to them, like, what do you say to the people who, when they say, you know, they're too young, the girls can't do this? And he says, I say to those people, like, listen to them speak and watch them succeed. And that was how it ended. And we were kind of like, whoa, he really, really believes in us and like knows we can do this. And he's always thought that. He is not verbal now, he can't communicate, but up until the moment that he could, he always said, even, so he now has dementia as well, so he can't fully communicate or remember things, but he always said, like, I believe in you, I'm so proud of you. He always said that to the three of us. So it's pretty special.
That is special.
wow, that's an inspiring story. Sounds like a real inspiring guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I really look forward to, I think next episode we're going to get into that, like how you took that inspiration and changed it to run things your way, to be true to who you are.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, if someone wants to get a hold of you guys, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Wickedly awesome.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can check us out on any of our social media platforms, and the best thing to do is visit our website at brittradius.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that story with us. I know that's not easy, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a lot more great stuff for you, so stay tuned for the next episode to see what we learned.